There's that space in between the dead and the living. We live there.
We keep looking for somebody. Nobody's coming in to save us.
Like a dream, like I will wake up and be like, yo, your mom's gone.
My name is Mark Talley.
My name is Fragrance Harris Stanfield.
I'm Barbara Massey Mapps.
I'm Wayne Jones, Sr.
My name is Garnell Whitfield. I lost my mother in the 514 shooting on Jefferson Avenue in Buffalo.
On May 14th, 2022, I was working at the time of the shooting.
I still cry all the time.
I'm sad every day.
My life was destroyed.
I might be having a good day, and then here comes the children. Come use this and fix the problem. This is a problem that they're gonna have that I can't fix. I can't bring her back, and all I can offer is words of encouragement.
People want you to grieve how they think you.
It's almost been a year since that mass shooting in Buffalo where a white supremacist, bigot, went and shot up 10 black folks and injured another 3 and killed them. He's since been sentenced and all that, but I always say this, you guys. When these mass shootings happen, or just even a shooting between a couple of folks, all of our guns all over the country, and then we move on, there's families that are devastated, and the devastation doesn't leave once the cameras leave. In fact, here's a little bit more from some of these devastated family members and survivors of that shooting that still haven't recovered.
People want you to grieve how they think you should grieve.
We're still traumatized, we're still grieving, we're still
Healing, I don't know when that'll come.
It's not getting any easier.
I don't want to ever get to the point where I'd say I'd rather be dead. I don't feel like that. But I'm really rebuilding who I am.
Imagine those words, man. I never thought about whether or not I was going to die after something like this. And I'm rebuilding who I am. Again, this is because enough of us in this country want to hold on to our huge war style machine weapons and just murder people at a high enough rate because we hate them, because we've been conditioned by politicians and society to believe that we're supposed to hate certain folks because I'm better than them. And now we have communities like this that are grieving over it. And many of them, which you could understand from human nature, will never get beyond it. But what's happening in the community now? What is that's changing this? We've got the energies and the emotions and things that people already overlooked. These folks, maybe they're not real humans. But what's happening in the community since then, though? Let's watch more of that.
The first maybe 3 to 5 days were chaotic. Didn't know how to feel, what to do.
A lot of attention, a lot of news, a lot of interviews. The union was present, everyone was accessible, and then everything stopped.
America has a disease, a racism disease, a gun culture disease, and fetish.
It just shows America, I mean, the people really don't care. I mean, it's just news for the day and we move on. Like, we don't solve any problems.
A lot of people just want to come near the memorial, take a picture and leave.
We know what the problem is, and nobody will confront the problem.
Ever since my sister got killed, I'm at a point now in my life, I'm not here to teach y'all. If you don't know nothing by now, there's nothing I can do for you. I hate that people gotta have somebody they love killed before they get it.
It was announced on television that billions of dollars have come into the city of Buffalo as a result of this massacre.
I just would like to see more opportunities for the inner city residents, black or white, just poor people in general.
I would like to see the neighborhood improved, and improved for the people who live in it.
Sometimes they need a helping hand, and I wish Buffalo would do more of that.
We'll get to more of what they're doing in Buffalo, but yes, first of all, off the top, again, the main reason I was thinking this, you guys, was I wanted you guys to see the actual people that, again, some of them even said, I normally wouldn't even come on like this, but because my family member, mother, sister was killed that day, I'm here to represent for their memory and let you guys know what it is that people, their families actually continue to go through. And imagine this for all the rest of those hundreds of mass shootings and non-mass shootings, which will go to the thousands every year of people who've lost loved ones because of this problem. What are your first thoughts here, though?
There's so much strength in that video. It kind of took me back a little bit. But on a national level, whenever these things happen, we barely get a chance to grieve as a nation anymore because they happen so quickly and so rapidly. A lot of them don't even get a lot of news coverage anymore. And whenever they do get news coverage, some of us, including myself, we don't always click on the links because it's like, okay, we're gonna hear a lot more of the same thing that we've been hearing every time something like this happens. The same inaction, the same thoughts and prayers, the same idiotic explanations and so-called solutions to problems and things like that. But the majority of us, thankfully, have never been in the situation that these people in the video are in. And I always wonder whenever these things happen, how it must feel for the survivors and the loved ones to watch the same news broadcast that the rest of us are watching and to see the same Twitter debates happen and then to see them stop as if their lives haven't been irrevocably changed forever. With news stories, we read them just like that, like stories. And while we do empathize with them as we're reading these stories, we are incapable of sustaining those feelings of grief for somebody else's loss. I don't think we actually have the emotional capacity to do so. But for these people, their grief doesn't fade with the headlines. They can't just pretend like it never happened. And then on top of that, in this particular instance, the survivors and the loved ones of the people who were killed in Buffalo, they have to deal with the additional pain of knowing why their loved ones specifically were targeted. And they have to deal with the pain of knowing that this is a racist act, and that is why their loved ones are no longer with them.
And when they bring that up, people say, leave it alone. We've moved on so far.
You're always trying to make race an issue. Stop bringing it up. You're the one perpetuating this, not the person who killed and targeted your loved ones.
They're supposed to just be quiet. And this is the way our society keeps moving. And I'm glad you guys get a chance to see some of it because again, if this is the way we approach things, you have to have some level of empathy towards someone else or see yourself in their shoes in order to want to do something different about it. And part of it is that when it comes to an oppressed community like this one was, or certain targeted folks that are traditionally targeted in our society since the beginning of this country, and we keep bringing it up, it's because you keep ignoring it and passing over it, and then it happens again and again and again. And last thing here, I know we've gone long on this, but because look, they were talking about the billions of dollars that one of the survivors there was talking about the billions of dollars that come into the community. Everything's great, right? Except when it happens like this. This is the last video.
As a result of the tragedy of 514, a lot of our elected officials are saying, they want to see things change. So a lot of money is being sent this way. People are making promises. We're gonna give the East Side $50 million, $100 million. But a lot of people I talk to say, we want to see it. We want to see something happen. We want to see those promises fulfilled.
Right now, based on our analysis, we've got maybe $1 to $2.2 billion of projects aimed for the East Side that are either planned or being implemented. Yet, we suspect that 90 to 95% of those dollars will flow through the East Side like water through a sieve en route to white communities, primarily because they're the ones, the businesses will get the contracts and white workers will be doing the job.
The reason I want to run that part, you guys, is because look, the motivation for some of these folks who have this assumption that black folks or any other minority you choose to hate have whatever issues are happening within their communities because that's just who they are. They're inferior to you. And let's go shoot them up because I hate them so much. First off, that whole thought process that you're superior, therefore go kill them makes no sense. But fine. How about outside of that, when these communities get destroyed, because there's usually this partnership between citizens, residents, constituents, and the government, and how when you pay into this whole system, because everyone pays their taxes, then it comes back and you actually get some of these things. When the money then comes in and gets reallocated somewhere else and the community still doesn't thrive because of it, and then you have racist white supremacists like the guy who went and shot up all these folks, they think they never do anything in their communities. Why is it never getting any better? Think about what they're showing you and what's supposed to be coming to the community, what is not. And now you still perpetuate this same line of, I hate them, they're destructive, they're this and they're that, let me go kill them. So after it happened, according to many of these residents, it's still happening. The community is still struggling financially and emotionally. And the next person going, well, look how it's not gotten much better, time to go shoot it up again, it's all perpetuated by the same cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I think about this stuff a lot, actually, as far as city planning and things like that, right? We know that, and there's evidence to corroborate this, that violence happens in neighborhoods and crime happens in neighborhoods where there is poverty, where there is wealth inequality. It's not a matter of, this person doesn't want to work or this person is, for whatever reason, predisposed to committing crimes and things like that. It's because they're desperate. Crime happens a lot of times out of desperation. But I liked what the one woman said in the video. She said, I would like to see the neighborhood improve for the people who live there. And that's what that's such a critical part of it. She's not talking about gentrification, which tends to bring in a lot of outsiders and completely transform the landscape and pushes out a lot of the locals who have made their homes in certain places. So it is important to have the money there, but also that it is managed and allocated in a way that it really does benefit the community. And in that way, by uplifting everybody just a little bit, just by helping people out so they don't feel so desperate, so they don't feel so alone, a lot of the crime can be alleviated. A lot of the people will just be happier. The economy will improve. It's a lot. We know this, right? There are studies that prove this. But they will never implement something like that because people always like to feel like they're superior to others, and people always like to take advantage of others. And because it's a much harder sell to say, we're gonna do this whole big wide sweeping plan of community betterment when they can just, stick to one talking point about crime is bad and we need more cops or something like that.
It's handouts when it comes to Black folks, and it's community building and the correct funds going to everyone else.